Very much indeed. Well, it does seem that the challengers in Copeland, the Conservatives, have their tails up. What about the challenges here in Stoke, UKIP? I'm joined now by Gerard Batten, MEP, London MEP for UKIP. How do you think things are going here?
Well, what I've been saying for the last week or two, Adam, is that it's either Labour is going to win by 1,000 or 2,000 votes, and people say, what's all the fuss, or it's going to be a very close result. I haven't been down there on the boxes, on the trays in the last few minutes, so I haven't seen how they're stacking up, but my feeling is it's going to be quite close.
I mean, the ones we can see here, there seem to be rather more Snell votes, and your parliamentary colleague, Douglas Coswell, said he doesn't think you're going to do it tonight.
Well, that's very helpful of Douglas, but I hope he said it after the ballot boxes are closed. But we've had a great campaign, we've worked very hard, we've had hundreds of people up here, and it's actually united the party. I think we've got to remember that this was only number 72 on our target list in terms of how well we thought we could do. So I think it's been a very good campaign. But we have seen this sustained campaign of proper black propaganda and character assassination against Paul. Labour Party have peddled this lie that UKIP wants to privatise the National Health Service, which has never been true, isn't true. But that has been resonating on the doorsteps.
We
have had the council. No, it wasn't. What Paul said was, no, never been true of the party. Paul said there might be ways of looking at the funding of the health service, bearing in mind that places like Germany, France don't have a health service like ours, and they fund it in other ways. So if politicians try to look at alternatives to the way things are done, they shouldn't be persecuted thereafter just for actually trying to discuss issues, which is what's happened to Paul. It isn't UKIP policy, never been UKIP policy. And of course we've had this sustained character assassination on Paul over the Hillsborough thing, which is, in my view, has been absolutely disgusting, the way that some elements of the media have used this.
But how disgusting, in as much as he appears to have over-represented his involvement in the Hillsborough disaster?
He was there when he was 12 years old. His press officer, his prof.
Which seems quite extraordinary.
Well, my school don't know where I was when I was 12-year-old on a Saturday either.
We're not talking about a major and traumatic disaster.
Well, why would the school know where he was? He knows where he was, his parents know where he was, his uncles knew where he was, and he's got signed written affidavits he can put before a court to that effect. What happened was, yes. What happened was that his press officer put something up, probably over-egged the pudding, which he did. He didn't look at it properly, that's his mistake. He didn't realise it was up there, and it was up there for years. And then that's been pointed out to him, he's freely admitted that mistake, but he can't move on. It's constantly coming back to be something that it's not, which is that he lied, which he didn't.
But I mean, the problem is he's now a leader of a major party, an influential party in British politics, and, you know, that was a schoolboy error, really, to make that sort of mistake, so maybe he's just not up to it.
I think we all make errors, and if we were all sacked for every error we make, none of us would be in a job, would we? I'm sure we've all made errors along the way, but that demonstrates to you why people are less inclined to get involved in politics, and we have the kind of people what we do in politics now is because a lot of serious people look at this and say, do I really want to be persecuted by the media for one mistake that I might make? And a lot of people are not actually going into politics because of this kind of thing.
But now that Britain has voted for Brexit, the Conservative Party is delivering Brexit, what is the point of UKIP?
Well, UKIP was always about being an alternative to the other parties. I know because I was there when we set it up, and it was always intended that we had a full range of policies and be a major force in British politics, which we now are. Don't forget we've had the referendum, but we haven't left the EU. What was that? That was 8 months ago or something, 9 months ago, and nothing's happened. And nothing more is going to happen for another 2 years. And at the end of that 2 years, we're going to have this mythical deal that nobody knows what it looks like, and yet we're going to incorporate all EU law into our law. So it's going to be like we left, but we didn't leave. So UKIP's next big job is to actually make sure that we do leave the European Union.
Now, we're just getting pictures in the hall here of people trying to verify the dodgy ballot papers. Or
the most fun part.
I'm just wondering, where is Mr Nuttall? Most of the other candidates are here now. Why isn't he here?
Well, I've been to many of these over the years, and of course you don't get the result until at least 2 o'clock in the morning, so perhaps he's going to make a dramatic entrance just before the result comes in.
I mean, I've been to an awful lot of these as well, and I have to tell you, the candidate who's going to win is normally one of the first ones to turn up.
We'll have to see. I think it's going to be very close, Adam. Maybe not as close as we'd like, but it's going to be close.
And just supposing things don't go your way, Where next for UKIP? Where next for Mr.
Well, I've been involved in lots of elections for UKIP over the years. When we win, it's called a flash in the pan, and when we lose, it's the end of UKIP. So I think you'll find if we don't win this by-election, it isn't going to be the end of UKIP. Our people are all fired up over this. It's been a great campaign. Paul's united the party in this campaign and in his leadership, and we'll be looking for the next challenge. But we're constantly up against this problem of the first-past-the-post system, especially when... I mean, Labour have held this seat for 50 years, so it's always going to be difficult to dislodge them. And it is going to be odd, I think, if in a constituency which has voted 70% to leave the European Union, they vote for a candidate and a party that doesn't want to leave and will probably do everything they possibly can to impede it. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to understand the logic of the voters, I have to say.
Well, it may be that people aren't so bothered about the whole EU issue anymore, which has
that's
been your reason for existence.
But they will be in another 2 years when we still haven't left.
OK, Mr. Batten, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.